Hey, this is Christiane Knight, and welcome to a very spur of the moment, completely unplanned magic all around. I am here on my patio outside. I have a screened in patio, so I'm outside, but I won't get eaten up by mosquitoes, thankfully. So if you hear any random noises, it's probably cars going by or people. I apologize for that, but we've got kind of a conversational on the patio vibe going on, right? Hey. Um, so I decided to turn the camera on today and talk because I haven't done a podcast in a while, and there's a reason for that. Well, there are two reasons for that. Um, Three reasons for that. One is that, well, I wrote a book and put it out, and that kept me a little busy. I mean, I've been writing the book for a while, obviously, but that last bit of production where you do the intense editing and layout and coming up with the cover and all of that goodness, that takes a lot out of me. So I was focused on that and not so much talking to you via this format, for which I apologize. But here I am now because the book is out and it's doing well, and that is a great thing. Um, it is available on all platforms if you want to pick it up. It's called A Third Kind of Madness. It is an um, yeah, my brain just kind of went because, like I said, not planned. It is a contemporary fantasy book set in the stories of the Illyrianan universe. I hate using the term universe because it's the same universe we live in. It's just a little more magical. Um, anyway, new characters: Denny and Denny's girlfriend Perry, and it has queer romance. It has non-binary and pansexual characters. Um, it has strange water elemental characters and paintings that come to life and all kinds of cool things happening. I'm very excited about it. Second thing that happened is I went to Balticon and I was on a bunch of panels. I've talked about that a lot. You can read more about it if you were a Ko-fi supporter. You can read about it there. I'm also getting ready to put a post up on my blog at christiannight.com, so you'll be able to read about that. So I won't go into too much detail other than it was so much fun. And I got to meet some really great authors that I hadn't met before or that I'd met previously, but maybe not in person. I got to do some fabulous panels with some amazing panelists. And I got to do a reading from A Third Kind of Madness alongside Sarah Avery, who I really admire as a writer. And that was a good time. I really, if you have a chance to go to a convention in your area, as a reader or a writer, I can't recommend it enough. They are so much fun, and speaking from the writing aspect of things, it's a really important thing to do to be able to mingle with your peers and get to know them and get comfortable with the community. People want to know you, right? People want to know the authors. People want to hear what you have to say and find out how you make the magic happen. So this is a great way to do that. As a reader, it's also fantastic because I get to meet other authors and pick up their books and be exposed to writing I might not otherwise. While I was there, I picked up some books and a poetry book, which is fabulous. I will drop some recommendations down in the links once I post this because there's some good stuff there, always, always. The third thing is that I just haven't known what to talk about really lately. Okay, when I set up the podcast, I set it up with kind of a container, right? I had really defined ideas about what I wanted to talk about, segments, and I found that I was struggling with them because my choices were in some cases my head wasn't in the right space for them. I wasn't feeling it. So this happens sometimes, like you're not feeling it, so you don't do it, which sucks because I really enjoyed doing this. I love talking to you, and I love the community. that is slowly springing up around the podcast and around my content. I like that back and forth. And since I like back and forth, I decided why not turn it over to you? And the question is, what do you want me to talk about? What do you want to hear coming from me? Do you want education? Do you want me to talk more about music? Do you want me to talk about my books in the Fae, or where my inspirations come from, or talk about other people who are inspiring me, or all of these things, or something I haven't mentioned? Please tell me. Please. Oh. You can leave suggestions in the comments, and I will put a poll up on my blog as well so that I can get suggestions from all over. Because I want this to be something that's fun for both of us. I mean, otherwise, why would you tune in, right? No reason to tune in if you're not interested, and there's no reason for me to do it if I'm not interested. It's that simple. I had a red pepper earlier today. Now it's making me burp. Please excuse me. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, content has been not on the forefront of my mind lately, other than I don't know what to talk about right now. Not that I don't have plenty of things I could be talking about. It's just like so much possibility, so little brain power. Help me choose. Easy enough. In updating news, for those who care, like I said, I went to Balticon. That was last weekend. It was fantastic. I spent a lot of time in other people's panels, listening, and also author readings. And I came home exhausted, because that is a thing that happens. That happens to people anyway. But then add age and chronic illness into it, and I had some real need for recovery time. I did not get recovery time because I had a bunch of errands that I had to run this week. So unfortunately, I'm still kind of running on fumes, if you can't tell by my tired eyes. But so there was that. One of the things I did do this week, which is pretty exciting, is I got a bunch of plants. For those who don't know, I'm a plant person, and I usually garden. Every year I have container garden. Like, I have this thing called a trug, which is this big trough that's full of dirt, and it's raised up pretty high, so it's about like to my hips-ish. And I usually have a small garden in that every year. I've grown lots of edibles, like lettuce and radishes and cucumbers and peas and broccoli and Brussels sprouts, all different kinds of things. Last year I didn't do it. The year before was kind of shaky, and part of that is because I was super sick, and gardening takes a lot out of you. It's pretty physical. And also I just didn't have the gumption to do it. I didn't have the oomph. So I let it go. But this year I went out and I cleaned out the trug, which had been taken over by a massive clump of garlic chives that has been growing now for the past couple of years, and unfortunately has gotten very aphid infested. So I cut that down to the roots, and I've been treating it with diatomaceous earth, which has been great. And in the meantime, I have radishes and sugar snap peas and snow peas growing in there. Nothing is up yet. It's all like leafy, but nothing is happening. No pods, no radishes, just leaves, but looks really good. And inside here, inside the patio, I have a bunch of just houseplant type things. I have a lot of succulents. Like, I have a crap ton of succulents. I love succulents. They're the easiest. Put it in the ground and forget about it. It propagates itself. It's a good time. But I almost always, every year, grow herbs. That's a big thing. And usually some tomatoes. So that's what I did. Is we went to, there's a really nice nursery on the other side of the city called Valley View. And so we drove over there this week. And I got some tomato plants instead of starting them from seed, which, is fine. And a bunch of herbs, which I also got as starts rather than starting them from seed, which is fine. And some Gerber daisies, because you need pretty. And now I have to put them all into pots. No. But again, it's fine. It's just that's the one part of the whole process that is tiring. So that's my plan for tomorrow is going to put everything into pots. One of the reasons I'm talking about gardening and going on about it, besides the fact that it fills my soul, is that it's really good as a writer, as a creative person, to have a different hobby that's separate from those other creative things, and to have something that I can nurture, that I can put my energy into, that's not just me fretting over my books or my writing or my fiber arts. It's something that I can nurture and love, and it feeds me back also. Even the stuff that I can't eat, it feeds me back, it feeds me energy, and it keeps me grounded. It keeps me connected with the earth. So I find it's really important. And I've been doing casual gardening for a really long time. Since I lived in North Carolina, I really started. I had a patio garden, like a balcony garden, when I first moved to Shelby, North Carolina. And that did really well and was really, really integral to my survival there because I struggled a lot. I was really isolated, and it gave me a sense of grounding and home. And now living here, I do the same because it's really important to have that grounding. I can go out there when I'm feeling stressed out and just pour some water on my plants and check them over and pull off dead leaves, deadhead, whatever I need to do. Just a little bit of time with Mother Earth to refresh myself, recharge, and be responsible for something that isn't me or my own personal creative works coming out of my head. And I recommend this for you um, because I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you're probably a creative person. Most people are. You need something that isn't a creative work to put yourself into, and it isn't work. You need something that is just for you, that will give you beauty and give you something to be proud of that isn't coming out of your head. And it doesn't have to be gardening. I mean, it can be a lot of different things. Like, for example, it could be taking care of the house. It could be, it could be interior decorating. It could be, I don't know. A lot of people get a lot of joy out of yard work, which to me is like, no. But for them, it is. Or taking care of their car or whatever. Um, what matters is that it needs to be something that puts you in touch with the everyday in a way that gets you out of your own head. Another big one for me, and a lot of people will laugh at this, but I really love washing dishes. I love it. It's grounding. It takes me into a calm, peaceful moment where I'm just worried about taking stuff off of a plate and making it shiny and clean. And in a way, it also nurtures my family, like me and my mom, because it needs to be done. And then we have clean dishes to eat things off of. And there's a sense of accomplishment after letting them dry, putting them all away, and knowing that I did that. And it sounds so simple, and maybe it's making something that's an everyday chore seem really valiant. I don't know. But I think it's important. It has to be one that you like. It has to be one that makes you feel like you've accomplished something that isn't drawing out of you. My mom really likes ironing. I do not like ironing. See, this is why it's great, because my thing that satisfies me, she doesn't like. So it works out great. And it can be anything. It doesn't have to be like a household chore. This is just me pulling stuff out of like what my brain is offering up at the moment. Like I said, it just needs to be something that isn't a creative thing in that moment. Something that grounds you. That's my suggestion. Anyway, I'm running off at the mouth, and I meant to just pop in for a few moments to catch up with everybody. So let me draw this to a close and say that I will have a poll up where you can comment in the comment section and tell me what you want me to talk more about. Or what you don't want to hear from me is also fine. I won't take it personally. And I will also put links to a couple of things that I've read that I really liked recently, especially stuff that I found at Balticon. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. This was Magic All Around with Christiane Knight. You can get my books and all my other writing at christianeknight.com. Thanks so much.